Hello everyone and welcome back to a video on the channel. Today I'll be doing a tutorial on Worldedit, how to make realistic mountains for Minecraft. If you haven't already, go check out my other tutorial on making mountains, which is more of a fantasy style mountain. And I promised I'd do this video for like a while now, and I decided to do it now because people really liked my previous tutorial. Make sure to subscribe for some more Worldedit tutorials. Let me know if you guys want me to do a specific tutorial. I'm gonna get out some tools here. You don't really need to get tools per se, but you can I like using tools just because it's a clear indication of like what I'm using basically. But basically we're using these for like brushes. We're gonna attach brushes to them. I don't know if I'm gonna be using all of them. I've just got out a bunch of stuff that we might use. So first thing that we do is that we're going to have to set the entire area, but to clear the landscape basically, make it so that we have an area to make the mountain. So a couple ways of doing this. We're going to go ahead and do brush, sphere, Minecraft, air. Basically, it will replace it with air. Now, obviously, this is really good for clearing out trees and such, but what you want to do is that you want to make sure that you mask the wood type that you're getting rid of. So in this case, it's spruce, and then the leaves is also spruce. So we're gonna go ahead and add that mask on. That's the command right there for what I'm doing right now. If you're dealing with oak, then you go for oak. If you're dealing with jungle, it's jungle. You know, it's simple like that. So we set the brush mask like that, and now if you notice, we actually are removing only the trees. Now, one thing I will mention is that to make it faster, I'm actually going to set a brush size for 6, and now the area is actually a lot bigger. Unfortunately, as you see in the bottom there, the max configuration is 6, so you can't really make it any bigger than that. And in some cases, that might be good for performance reasons. So now we're going to do brush sphere, and we're going to do Minecraft sand. And then we're going to set this to 6. So the command's up on the screen right now, in case you don't see it down here. So now we're going to do /mask air. So now this will only work on the air. And this is good because we won't destroy the landscape that we have down here. So now here we have the perfect block in Minecraft next to gravel, because that also falls, in which this will actually give us a very interesting terrain generation. So you see how it kind of like drops and falls down and it forms like a nice mound. That's the whole purpose of the realistic mountains. And of course, there's a lot, and I mean a lot of ways that you can go with this. So I need to give you guys as many options as possible, which is why occasionally I'll give you like advice that I might not use in this mountain, but it might be useful for your case. So one thing that you can do is obviously to make a nice realistic mountain is that now that we have like a bit of a mound here, first things first, we could select the area or use a smoothing tool, which you can do by getting a tool and do /brush smooth. And so that should give you a smooth brush. So we're gonna do /pose 1 and then go over to the other side and do /pose 2. So like make sure that you're in the area where your mountain is. /pose 2. And then do /smooth. And basically what this will do is that this will smoothen out the mountain. So as you can see here, we actually have a nice smooth, very realistic mountain here. Now when we did the smoothing tool, it actually did show some issues within the mountain, such as there was a gap inside of the thing. So that's also very good to like reveal some gaps. So we're gonna do and then maybe even add more to the top of it and then do it again. And then it will form a nice mound over time that might suit your liking. But obviously it's a sand mountain. So what we need to do to change it into a mountain that's like, you know, not a sand mountain is first, let me just like get some more blocks in there. So there's 2 ways of turning this mountain of sand into a actual like, you know, dirt mountain or somewhere around that level. So what we're gonna do first is let me just smooth it out because I messed around with it just a little bit. So smooth it. That's looks alright. I could probably be there's a part of me that just wants to like fix it just a little bit because I know that there's some issues here and there with the mountain, but for the sake of the tutorial, let's move on. So now what we can do is that we can do /brush dirt or grass, whatever works for you. Maybe grass will work, so let's try grass block, and then we're gonna do /mask sand. And you can do replace tool. The replace tool also works. So for example, let me show you how the replace tool works before I turn this into grass blocks already. Slash replace sand grass block. And that replaces that entire thing with grass block. And of course there's a little sand here, so it kind of like creates, as you can see by the line here, it replaced all the sand with the grass as well down here. So both work, they're both fine. And yeah, now we have a mountain of grass blocks, and over time this will slowly turn into dirt blocks. Now if you simply cannot wait, you can do slash game rule random tick speed and then set to high value. If I set to very high value, like 1000, it makes it very fast. But the obvious downside is that if your computer can't handle a high tick speed, don't do it. Maybe even increase it a little bit, but let it sit there and then come back to it later to change it back to the normal tick speed that it was at before, which is around 4-ish. So now that we have everything here as a dirt block, well, grass blocks plus dirt blocks, what we do is we can either do one of the following. We could replace the dirt blocks that we just made into stone through either a mask or also through doing the replace tool like we did before with the sand. So that's obviously an option that you can do as well. But what we can do as well is I can do slash naturalize. And this will naturally naturalize the entire mountain. So you can see it puts stone in the areas where, you know, 3 blocks dirt, 1 grass block. It will put stone for the rest. And this will give you the most natural Minecraft mountains within Minecraft. So that will automatically give you a nice mountain. Overall, that's really all you need to make a natural mountain. And this can be applied to a lot of things over time. So you can just add, copy and paste this kind of style to the entire area, maybe even a nice perimeter around, and it will make it look like very natural mountains. And yeah, like you might be even done with this tutorial by now, but let me show you some other things that you can do to make very cool mountains. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get another brush tool out, right? And I'm gonna do slash, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do slash brush cylinder path block. I actually don't know what it's called exactly, but you'll see the command up top there. Actually, can I just look in here? Dirt path. Okay, so dirt path. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a brush cylinder Minecraft dirt path 1, and then mask grass block. And so what this is going to do is that this is just going to create like a pathway across, so you can kind of paint the entire like dirt mountain to kind of give a nice pathway. Of course, this won't make sense in a natural circumstance. So what you can also do as well is you can do slash brush cylinder Minecraft dash air, and then let's say 1. And then what we're gonna do here is that we're gonna mask grass block and also dirt path. So what this is gonna do is that the cylinder helps flatten out the landscape just a little bit. Now because I actually masked dirt path and grass block, of course the dirt itself is not going to be affected too much, but you can kind of see, like, you know how village pathways have like this nice indent? That's kind of what we're doing here. It would be a lot cleaner if I did dirt as well, so that's probably my bad. You can also do dirt as well, and that would help a little bit, but here you're kind of making like a path right here. And so with the high tick speed that I have now, which if you can't do this, then obviously, you know, wait for them to load in, or don't do this at all, use a different method to do this, because you can even just dig out a dirt path with the cylinder, and that would be a lot simpler as well. But as you can see here, this is doing very nice work, and there's a lot more applications that you can use this for, and you can easily make this a lot more manageable. But here you go, you have like a nice pathway design that you can use. And you can replace the dirt path for gravel if you prefer gravel for pathways. If you prefer andesite for pathways, you can use that. If you prefer diorite for the fancy kind of pathway, you can do all that. So you can do a lot with these mountain tools. And as much as I can just like create a sculpture for you guys to give you an idea as to what you can do with it, I'm just going to give you the tools needed. I'm going to show you like what you can use them for. But for the rest of the way, you have to make sure that you don't copy off of me, but use your own creativity to make your mountain. And that's just basically what I want you guys to do when you look at my tutorials. I don't want you guys to just copy off what I'm doing. Just make your own mountain, and it will look absolutely wonderful. Now let me get one more tool out here because I want to show you guys one last thing before we end off this video here, and that is how to add in plants and trees and all that stuff. So one thing that we've covered in the last tutorial is that we can also do /tree and then go for, in this case we're in the spruce biome, right? So we can do /tree spruce, and it's bound to this tool. So now occasionally we can plant a spruce tree, and this is really good, but there is one issue with it, and that is that on occasion we can't actually plant a tree there. So it is a little limited to the natural boundaries of where you can place a tree in Minecraft. So we have a couple of trees down. I don't want to waste too much time with this. So yeah, a nice little like tree scenery here and there. So that is obviously something that you can do with these natural mountains, and they will look more alive. There's another thing that you can do as well, which I'm going to show you right here. As you may have noticed, you can use bone meal for this, but the actual landscape of it, there isn't a lot of like plants and scenery and all that stuff. So you can make a tool that will allow you to replace air blocks with plant blocks. Now there's a couple of ways to add in grass, as you can see there, or flowers for your environments. And one way is you use /flora, which I already did it, as you can see, which adds in a bunch of grass and a bunch of flowers in there, and it's very natural. It's natural as Minecraft can get it. So that is obviously a really cool thing that you can do to add in stuff. Now on top of the flora command, the next thing I'm going to teach you is a bit of a riskier choice. You can use percentages to make flowers here. I actually played around with it just a little bit here, and so I have the commands here. I'll post them in the description, but basically that is the command. It's 90% grass, so 90% chance of grass spawn on a grass block, 50% for the fern, and then 11% for a flower, 1 for each flower. So that's what this command does, and it's set to brush sphere size. And then what we're gonna do here is do gmask that, and then we're gonna do /mask greater than sign, and then 2. And that will give you a nice brush mask here. And the reason why you do that brush mask, by the way, is because as you can see here, I don't damage any of the blocks. So like that's really important, so that you don't damage anything. And it just gives you all the flowers, all the different kinds. And you can even like click it again in case you don't get the flower arrangement that you want. So now you have a nice, lovely brush for all this. And of course, by me spamming it, you can tell that, it's just a lot more vibrant. You can lower the percentage values to make it less grassy. So like 70% grass, for example, or 50% grass, make it like 30% fern, and just change it just so you can fit whatever needs you have. But overall, this mountain is pretty good as it is. It's nothing too crazy, nothing too insane, and you can make it insane if you want to by adding in more detail, more depth, more just anything good, like just add in a lot of stuff that you think would fit your mountain. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. I took a screenshot of that mountain for my thumbnail, and I hope this tutorial helps you out with your Worldedit mountain needs. So with that said, once again, make sure to subscribe, of course, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care and goodbye.